The Berlin defense. It's an opening that has a very notorious reputation in the chess world. Why? Because at some point, many people thought this was the refutation to 1e4. It's such a super solid opening. And it was actually used by Vladimir Kramnik in his World Championship match against the biggest attacker of all time, Garry Kasparov. And he managed to halt Gary's 1e4 with the Berlin. So all the games that happen in the Berlin are very exciting these days. This game happened in the 4th round of the Sinquefield Cup. Now Gukesh had just dodged a bullet against Pragnananda in round 3. In round number 4, he was up against Firouzja. And Firouzja is quite his nemesis. You know, at the candidates, Firouzja beat him at the halfway mark. Then Gukesh won a very critical penultimate round against him that kept his championship chances alive. Towards the end, he beat him. And so, this game was very exciting. Gukesh had the white pieces and he opened with 1e4. And then, it so happened that Firouzja played the Berlin. And they went into this end game where the queens were traded and Firouzja put his knight on f5 and Gukesh played this line with rook d1, h3, and then h3, rook d1, b3, bishop b2, and it looked like a normal variation that was happening. And Firouzja pushed his h-pawn down the board. This is all kind of well-known stuff. Then the knight jumped to e4, king went to f8, rook came to d1, and rook b8 was played. I believe this move was slightly weird in a sense. I don't know why he played this move. He could have also played bishop e6 here, but rook b8. And here Gukesh came up with a very interesting move. You need to think and tell me, what should white do in this position? So Gukesh played this move, knight f6. Very beautiful move. And the point is, if you take g takes f6, e takes f6, now the bishop is hanging and rook d8 check is coming, but bishop d6. And I want you to pause the video and think, what is the winning move here for white? It's very beautiful that Gukesh had seen it. Bishop a3. What a beautiful move. And there is absolutely no way to stop rook d6, cd6, bishop d6 check winning the rook on b8. That's how insane it is. And if king g8, you already have rook e8 check, king h7 and knight g5 check, which is winning. So maybe rook a8 could be an idea, because then if you take rook d6, cd6, bishop d6, it's not a mate, but still after rook d6, cd6, bishop d6, king g8, rook e8, king h7, knight g5 check, king h6, knight f7, you are going to lose this rook on h8 after king h7, knight h8, knight h8. And look at the beauty, rook h8, king h8 and f7. White wins this endgame. Very pretty variation. Okay, so Firouzja did not fall for it. After knight f6, he played knight f4. He said, I'm not touching your knight. Gukesh gave a check. This is some achievement in the Berlin, because you now have gotten black's double bishop advantage, and black structure is still bad. Now c7 pawn is hanging, so king e8 was good. If you play rook takes c7, then bishop d8 and you will lose material. So Gukesh simply came back, and then c5, and Gukesh now rerouted his knight from d2 coming to c4. Firouzja brought his king to e6. Now I was thinking, okay, Gukesh will play Shanti, say, you know, he'll play something like a4, some move. But Gukesh was in no mood to relax. Find the move that Gukesh played here. White to play. Absolutely stunning rook d6 check. So first knight f6, now rook d6. Take all the pieces. CD had to be taken, because if you go king f5, it's already a mate. Knight e3 check. And if you go king g5, then I have rook d7 winning. And if you go king e4, what's the winning move now? f3 mate. So that works. Okay, so CD, ED, check, bishop is hanging. So now, what's the only defensive move for black? There's only one move. Firouzja has to find it. So if you go king d7, it's lost because of rook e7 comes with a check. Okay, so he went and if you go king f5, I take d7, and now knight d6 comes with a check and I make a queen. So that's the reason why king d5 is the only move, only defensive. So you take rook e5, you play rook e5 check. The thing is, you can also play d7 here, but I believe he wanted to play f6 here, stopping rook e5. So Gukesh first gave a check, king c6, rook takes e7. Now b5 should have been good, and I don't know what exactly Firouzja miscalculated here, because b5, rook c7 check, king d5, knight e3 check, king takes d6, and he should be fine. But instead he went f6. Gukesh snatched a pawn and then gave a check. King came up, king f1, and then knight e3 check, king d6, rook h7. And finally, after a few moves, when the knights were traded and c4 takes rook c4, we reach a position where Gukesh has 5 pawns, black has exchange up but 3 pawns. So 2 pawns for an exchange. Looks balanced, but white has a better structure. So f5, h4, rook g4, and here h5. Very classy move here, h5. I think Firouzja might have missed it, because if rook c4, I go bc4 check, king c4, h6. There's no way to stop h7, h8. Rook f7, bishop g7, threatening h7. So it was very pretty. He went f4 here, h6, very dangerous pawn. Now Gukesh has a serious advantage, rook h4. And here maybe Gukesh had this very nice chance to get a big advantage, which was to play rook c5. King c5, bishop a3 check, king d5, bishop f8. And this position should win actually. I don't know if Gukesh calculated it and didn't feel it was winning, because he went g3 and then rook h2, bishop g7. Actually, perhaps rook h1 check was a better check instead of rook h2. But rook h2, bishop g7, rook f7, gf4, and now once again Gukesh has a great position. But to win this was not easy, because both players kept moving around, king e3, rook e4, king e3, and I felt like Gukesh was not able to make progress here, and perhaps his time was running low, and so he chopped the pawn on a6. But once he chopped the pawn on a6, rook f4, king e3, rook f7, somehow his position was not winning anymore. And Firouzja was very good with his defensive abilities, and he managed to trade, get the h pawn, then get the f pawn, and the 2 pawns were not enough, because at some point he sacrificed his rook for the a pawn. It was a wrong colored pawn, rook pawn, and then the king went to the side and they drew. Beautiful game, I must say, and I must credit Gukesh for playing such wonderful chess. Knight f6, rook d6, all these beautiful moves that he was playing. And I hope you had a good time looking at this game. Gukesh still has 50% score with 4 draws. But you can see the quality of his games is amazing. Also, Prag is playing there, has 4 draws himself as well, on 2 out of 4. We'll be following their games, and I hope you enjoyed this recap. For now, this is Sagar Shah signing off. Bye-bye.